Hello, hello, hello. To make sure I had my mic on. Happy Friday. I hope everyone is having a lovely Friday. If you have watched my latest vlog, you might know that things have been a bit heavy for me, a lot heavy. I'm not gonna lie, a lot heavy for me this week, but I'm here and I'm kicking, and sometimes that is our best win. So how is everybody? Who all have we got in here? I need a sip of my chai. Hello, George. I'm sorry that you're having a rough day too, it sounds like. Hello, Erin. I'm glad that you made it. I know that you rushed very hard to be here, so I'm glad that you made it. Hello, Tim. For anyone that is new, I just want to let you know that any advice I give or insights I give are just those that I have learned over time, or those that I've learned from other people. I am not a mental health professional. If you are in need of immediate mental health treatment or care, please go to the nearest emergency room or dial the suicide hotline for your country. In America, it's 988, but I always leave a list in my descriptions of my videos if you are needing to reach out for help, or if you are needing specific resources, we will be happy to try to connect you with those. But this is just a time for us to check in with how we're doing with our mental health talk, ask questions, wherever it leads us, get some positivity in here. We got our snaps where we're going to have some good news that we're going to start out with. I think I'm going to do snaps a little bit earlier this week because it sounds like a lot of us could use a little bit extra happy. Good afternoon, Benjamin. Hello, lass. Cool out. Thank you. Hugs back, Francisco. I hope you're doing good this week. Graham, hello, Amanda. I'm so glad I found your YouTube page. You've been such a help to me. I'm so glad that we can be here and that the content is helpful to you. Sorry if I sound like I'm drunk. I promise I'm not. I actually, so the last few days have been obviously pretty heavy. And I feel today, I know that a lot of y'all are going to relate to this. I feel today like I'm having that panic attack hangover, that mental health breakdown hangover where you just absolutely dysregulate and lose control and you freak out and your thoughts get dark or whatever might happen. And then those days after, you're feeling the guilt of anything you might have said or anything that you might have done or not have done, or whatever the case is, and you just feel really tired. I feel so dissociated today, so dissociated. I spent my whole day just going pink, 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 heart, heart, blue, blue, and just narrating stuff around me, because that is one of the things I do when I am when I'm dysregulating, or I try to just start describing my hands or something like that. I have my little Calmigo device here. I just figured I'd bring a few things with me just in case things get crazy. I know that you will be here. I know that all of you guys will be here if they do, but I have my little breathing apparatus, which I've used a few times in the past couple of days. And of course, my vegan decaf chai, which I made really quickly right before this. I needed it. Thank you, Edward. I'm doing pretty good. A lot of people are saying, how are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. Just trying to bounce back, and trying to find my footing. And I'm just feeling really confused and disoriented and dissociated. And it's just been a real challenge to try to get back into my mind after I feel like someone has taken it over. I was laying there last night and I totally felt like I was in the sunken place from Get Out, because my peripheral darkened. So I had no peripheral vision. It was really creepy. So it felt like I was looking up at that screen, and it felt like almost like I was losing control in many, many ways. Not like I was losing control in the sense of doing something violent or lashing out. Just suddenly my thoughts didn't seem like my own. And it was a very weird sensation. I'll forgive you this time for being late, David. Don't let it happen again. This is unacceptable behavior. I'm just kidding. Totally kidding to anyone that does not know me here. George says this gray wolf is sad right now. Well, hopefully the pack can be here for you as well and help keep you safe while you traverse these emotions as well. It's okay to be sad, especially when things happen. It's okay. But that's when the community comes together and we all have each other's backs. Josh says, you're an amazing soul and have helped me so much in my breakdowns. I'm happy. I'm happy that we can be here to help and that the community and the channel can be here to help. Graham says, I have my sensory items next to me. Today, I've definitely really checked in on my sensory items. I have a candle here too that I was going to burn and then forgot my lighter. So I guess I'm just going to have to sniff it real hard a few times. My soy, let's see, Craft and Ken White Sage. So it's an aromatherapy, a white sage aromatherapy candle. I have to do soy candles because regular candles, the chemicals in them really cause me to have almost asthma-like symptoms. I can't breathe. My throat gets really itchy. It's just not a good situation. So I have to have soy aromatherapy candles, stuff like that aren't the normal ones, because also normal ones actually emit the same fumes as a diesel truck. So that's not something that we really want to be taking in anyway. That can obviously have an effect on our physical and mental well-being. And how counterproductive is that to have an item that's supposed to be bringing you comfort that's making you sick, right? That would be pretty silly. So I just like to be conscientious about things. And obviously I'm pretty self-aware about how things affect me and adjust accordingly. Lucas Storar Parkour says, hey, whenever you are available, do another music reaction. You should do Fall in Love by Bailey Zimmerman. Bailey Zimmerman, that just sounds so fun to say. Oh, thank you for that suggestion. Oh, Alkin is here. Hello. I hope that you are feeling well today. I hope that you are feeling loved and supported as you deserve today. Sean says, disconnected, not quite on the planet, yet floating through the ethers. Yeah, that's a pretty good description of where my brain's at too. Yep. Rick! Rick is back! Yay! Rick is here. I am so happy. I know that you messaged me the other day. Oh, this is making my day. This is making my day. This is making my day. So Rick has been MIA for a bit, and we were very worried about him here in the community. So he is here. He is back, and I am so happy, even though he says he can't stay long, still typing with one hand. That's okay. You can just listen. We need to feel your presence. We need to suck in all of your energy. And take that in, because we missed you. So I'm very happy you're here and you're doing well. Thank you. Dan says, your makeup and hair looks fantastic. Thank you. I needed to hear that today. David says, I know after I have an anxiety attack, I feel off for a few days as it still lingers in the back of my mind. I feel off, just a little left of center. That's what I say, is that I'm outside myself and a little to the left, because in this case, I don't understand what was going on, and that's very strange for me, because I'm usually very self-aware. So I was just having all these thoughts that didn't make sense, and they didn't seem like me, because even when the shadow takes over, most of the time my thoughts make sense. The reason I or she kind of acts out still makes sense. It might not be the healthiest decision, but it makes sense. So if I'm turning to something dark, sure, it's not a wise decision, but it still makes sense as to why I'm doing that. When I'm having these ruminations, when I'm having these intrusive thoughts, they still often make sense, almost all the time make sense. And if they don't, it's not my whole entire narrative. I can't remember a time where I've ever just had my whole entire narrative do what it's doing right now, where it just turn on everything and everyone. And it's quite grounding and centering, honestly, to be here, because I need your energy as much as you need mine. And I did not sleep at all last night. I was just up all night last night, really struggling, and it was a long night, and I could just drink this stuff by the gallon right now. Yes, Snap Cup Wolf is angry. David, yes. She is, I think that's she. Selena. Oh, David's very happy to see Rick too. Sorry, Amanda, I had to use more than 5. Yeah, I am weird that I always use 5 exclamations or 5 smileys or 5 hearts, whatever the case is. So David knows me all too well. My goodness, I just kicked my camera. Sorry about that. There's not an earthquake. I just kicked my camera. Oh my gosh, Edward says, sometimes we all just need a Control-Alt-Delete day. My brain needs a Control-Delete. All these tabs in my brain, usually the tabs in my mind just have a lot of different thought processes going on. So I have multiple thought processes going on in my brain at the same time. Sometimes it's like those tabs have music open and you can't figure out which one it is, so you're just clicking through them trying to mute it. Sometimes they're in Japanese. There'll be one in Japanese and then one in Korean and then one in German and then one in Spanish. It's just, oh my gosh. And then some of them are in English and your brain is just all jumbled. And right now it's almost just like they're all going, ah! There's not even really a thought process. It's just screaming. And that's annoying. That's so annoying. I thought that the 100 tabs open was annoying, but this is even worse. And I just don't remember ever having this happen. So the mental health symptoms that I'm feeling right now are just foreign even to me. And I am no stranger to the mental health world, obviously. But the things that are going on right now just seem so crazy and so foreign and so weird that I'm not going to lie. It's a challenge to me and probably everyone within a 50-foot radius of me to manage right now. It's sandwich says it's raining where I am, but I didn't step in any poodles. Well, yes, don't step in poodles because that would be animal cruelty, but I'm jealous of you for having rain. I want rain here so bad. Oh, Aaron, Miss Rick James too, Edward. I love our community. Yes, Michael, I'm okay. Just getting through a bit of a rough patch. Oh, I love this. I love everyone welcoming Rick back with open arms. Hi, Pam. Oh, my chat just skipped around. Also, just again, if you are new, we get a lot of comments and messages, and obviously I can't read all of them. So if you need me or really, really want me to see a message, please make sure to use the super sticker function. All pledges from the super sticker and super chat functions will go toward my mental health outreach as always. Joanne says, do you know songs L'Enfer by Stormy or Mr. Madam? But I do not, but I know L'Enfer means hell in French. So I have not heard of them, but maybe I need to jump on another French reaction. So thanks for the suggestion. I don't think I know of them. But that makes sense. That makes sense that it's about suicide. Oh, Metal says, what's the character on your shirt, Amanda? It's Aladdin. Aladdin is my favorite Disney movie, so I decided to wear my Aladdin shirt today. But Rob, don't worry. I can't think clearly at the moment either. Not even a little bit. Not even. I think we need the good news, right? I think we need the good news for the week here. So I am going to come on here and share a good news story that I found. This one is super interesting to me. Woman who can smell Parkinson's disease helps scientists develop 3-minute skin swab test. How does this stuff happen? I don't even know. Scientists in the UK have harnessed one woman's extraordinary sense of smell to develop a test that could determine in just 3 minutes whether people have Parkinson's disease. My mom had Parkinson's, so this is kind of huge to me. I know a lot of people that have lived with that, and it can be very, very difficult. Researchers at the University of Manchester were helped by Joy Milne, a Scottish grandmother who discovered she could detect the neurodegenerative illness in people from their distinct body odor. British media report the 72-year-old who had hereditary hyperosmia, a heightened sensitivity to smells, noticed that her late husband developed a different odor more than a decade before he was diagnosed with Parkinson's. She described a musky aroma different from his normal scent. The team in Manchester investigated her observation and discovered that Parkinson's disease indeed has a particular odor. They found the smell is strongest on patients' upper backs where sebum, an oily substance produced by the skin, tends to amass. The researchers have since designed a test that can identify people with Parkinson's using a simple cotton swab run along the back of the neck. We are tremendously excited by these results, which take us closer to making a diagnostic test for Parkinson's disease that could be used in clinic. There's currently no specific test for Parkinson's, and diagnosis is solely based on a patient's symptoms and medical history. simple and non-invasive test. The study published on Wednesday in the Journal of the American Chemical Society found that there are specific lipids that are substantially more active in people suffering from the disease. The research used a sample group of 79 people with Parkinson's compared with a healthy control group of 71 people. The test has the potential to massively improve the diagnosis and management of people with Parkinson's disease. I just think that this is so awesome. I love hearing about these breakthroughs because that also obviously is going to help them when they're doing research to find ways to treat it in its earlier stages and stuff. So that, I think, can be obviously a huge step in this world. Finally able to catch you live. Oh, thank you, Most Valuable Production. Thank you so much for the pledge. I'm happy that you can be here. I'm happy that you can catch us. Graham says, finally, I feel safe with people I can connect with and listen to and share help. Oh, thank you. And I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad you found us. Dan Alshaw says, Robin Williams was a light in the world. Absolutely. For a second, I was going, why are we talking about Robin Williams? And I remembered Aladdin Genie. I love that movie so much. I loved him. I really did. He really was a light. And I've actually been pretty saddened hearing about the death of Her Majesty the Queen. That was very sad to me because I found her really inspirational. She had so much grace and so much compassion, and she really did carry herself well. And David and I were talking about this, that she never really attacked people or anything like that. She always was very solution-oriented and very goal-oriented. She wanted to make a positive change in 70 years as queen. That's so crazy. 70 years on the throne. But I really hope that whether Charles keeps the throne or abdicates to William, I really hope that they do her legacy justice, because I do think that she was a beautiful figure in this world, a beautiful person in this world, a beautiful figure to history, I suppose is a better way of saying that. So I was saddened to hear about her as well. And I just wanted to take a moment to honor her memory just by speaking about how I was inspired by her like that. Oh, yep, Jonathan says, did you have the sad news in the UK? Yes, I did. Emo Aladdin, yes. Aladdin looks like he's in trouble, like it's a mugshot. Yep, it is a mugshot. See, he has the little number and then the shoplifting. So, yep, he got caught for shoplifting. Oh, Haru, thank you so much. Hello, Amanda. Very nice to see you. I'm Japanese, but recently moved to Canada. I go back to Japan once every year to visit my grandfather. He's a survivor from the atomic bomb in Hiroshima. My grandmother wasn't so lucky. I'm so sorry. That is tragic. I always hate to hear about people losing their lives to senseless things like that. I'm glad, though, that your grandfather survived. I bet he has a lot of amazing stories and insights and wisdom that he can share with us. And I hope that you will share some of that. I hope that you will share some of your grandparents' wisdom through the channel here. I always say that the best way to honor someone is by sharing their memories and their wisdom with the world, because that keeps them alive in many ways. So thank you very much for your pledge, and thank you for sharing that. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to this side of the pond. David says, the Queen always represented what we are capable of and what positive things we can do. We need that in life. No finger pointing or dividing. Absolutely. And that's why I loved her so much. And I think that that's what is such a struggle to me here, is it just feels like, especially during election season, it's so heavy because it's just commercial after commercial of not, here are the things that I'm going to do. Here's the changes I'm going to make. Here's the positive thing I want to share with you. It's here's why the other guy sucks. And that's just really all we do for months in election season. And it's so draining. And you have to see the visual clutter everywhere with the signs. And I don't think that should be legal. I don't even think that we should have campaigns and stuff like that. I think that literally you should get a packet in the mail that has each of your representatives, and you do get this, but I think that this is all you should get. And it says, here's what they stand for, and here's their history, their voting history and stuff, and that's it. No ads, no spending billions of dollars on campaign trails and stuff. No, everybody gets a packet that says, here's what your people believe in, and you vote accordingly to their beliefs. And I don't even think that it should list party. I just think it should say, here's what they support and believe in, and let people vote accordingly. So that's just my humble opinion, but I really always have struggled with the idea of politics, how they are handled here in the West. George says, Abby is saying goodbye to her father today. I wish I could be with her. Part of me feels like I'm letting her down by not being there. Just make sure that you're checking in. If you can, video call or just make sure that you're being there in any way that you can. I'm confident that she knows how much you care and how much you want to be there. I mean, I'm seeing you through a screen. I talk to you through a screen and sometimes through Zoom on our Patreon, and I feel that you care. So I'm sure that she can feel it, but just make sure that you're being extra gentle with her today. Maybe have dinner sent to her or something tonight. But I think that she knows that you care and that you're there in the ways that you can be. Michael Jordan just says, wait, what about Will Smith, Aladdin? Just joking. It didn't happen. It never happened. I don't know what you're talking about. The Queen kept nonpartisan, which was good. Agreed. Yeah. David says brain surgery is worse than a root canal, so vote root canal. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It always felt to me, for all the Harry Potter fans, that at this point we're voting Umbridge versus Voldemort. That's all this is it's Umbridge versus Voldemort. There is no good candidate anymore. It's just, hey, here's two crappy people. Now choose which one is less crappy. I don't want to do this. Unfortunately, negative ads have been shown to be more effective. Play on emotions, not ideas. And that's the thing that bothers me is I don't think that they should be going for what's more effective. I think that we should be going for what's more honest. I think that it should just be simple. This is what they believe in. Who do you want to vote for? I think that that's where we should get to. Crash course in brain surgery. South Park did an entire episode on it. Yep. Shit sandwich and giant douche. I remember that episode. I definitely remember that episode because I often think of that too. What election was that? I don't remember which election that was that they did that episode. But yes, I do definitely remember that. Oops. Hello and good evening. Shouldn't it be hello and good morning and then good afternoon, good evening, and good night? Oh, Damien says, I like the elephant. What does it represent? Oh, you saw my little Ellie. Strength. Elephants represent strength. They're also luck, but mostly just strength. I'm a really big fan of Leora Alexandra and her content, and her community is her baby Ellies. And I've been listening to a lot of her content recently just because I find it to be very inspiring, and I find a lot of things that I can apply to my life. And I don't know if you know this, but an elephant with the trunk up is a sign of good luck. So if the elephant has the trunk down, then you don't want to display that in your home because it is a symbol of bad luck, if you believe in that sort of thing. Jonathan, thank you. Jonathan says, hey, Amanda, I hope you're having a very lovely day. You look so beautiful as always. Keep doing what you're doing. We love you. Thank you so much. And thank you for your pledge, for your support. I appreciate you. As I feel safe here, I'm glad to announce that I finally finished my 12-month DT and passed and have been SH-free for 4 years now. That is amazing. Early snaps. Good job, Graham. I'm very proud of you. That's awesome. I did DBT as well, and it is immensely helpful. And when I was formulating the Happiness Boost course, there were a lot of DBT things that I tied into that because it's really important that we have a solid toolbox of things that we can turn to when things get difficult. I talk about that in my vlog. It's so important that we have a toolbox. It's so important that we are cognizant and mindful. Mindfulness is the number one thing of DBT. And mindfulness is so helpful to be able to respond instead of react to situations. And we're not perfect. Sometimes we slip, sometimes we lose control or dysregulate, but I'm very proud of you. I think we need to move on to the snap cup here before I keep jumping in here. Oh, Blast says, fun fact about elephants, they are starting to be born without tusks because of human-made evolutionary pressure. Holy crap, that's terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying. Ugh, that breaks my heart that we are having effects like that on other species and on the environment. That being said, we need to shift the mood a little bit. I need to shift the mood a little bit. For anybody that is new, let's change our little guy into a happy wolf. Happy wolfie. So anybody that is new, this is inspired from Legally Blonde 2, where we just share some warm fuzzies in the community. I know it can be very difficult when you're struggling with mental health to be able to recognize the good. So in the community, before these streams, I always encourage people to post their wins or wins of other people that they might know so we can share them here on the stream. But it comes with a song. So as Erin is pledging for me, thank you so much. Snap cup time, gather ye round. Friends and foes together, united and bound. Pass it to your neighbor instead of blowing up, and you'll find harmony and love in a snap cup. My snaps are getting louder. You hear that? You can hear that now. They're getting louder. I've been practicing. Edward made me practice. Deathcore snap song. I need someone to create a deathcore snap song. That's what I need. Somebody get on that. Somebody on this channel, make a deathcore snap song. I need that to happen. Hey, Zabe, how come the stream at a different time today? Just curious. It was just because I had medical appointments and stuff this morning that I needed to deal with. So I just needed to push it back a little bit and didn't want to cancel. Bomber44 says, my footy team, that's so cute, my footy team, that sounds awesome. My footy team had made it to the grand final this weekend, but I unfortunately wasn't able to play due to my ASL injury, so I will instead be one of the team's water boys and keep them as hydrated as possible. Let's go, Wandella Bombers. I love this so much because it's taking something that could just be, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do, woe is me, you know, and of course it's okay to acknowledge that you're gonna miss the game and you wanted to play, but you found something important to do and something that still keeps you connected to the team and something that's still going to affect the way they play. So you're still very much having an effect on the team. So I hope that you guys win. Let's go, Wandella Bombers, and snaps to you. And now I just need to go watch Waterboy again. The thing I always loved about Waterboy is, yes, it's funny, but Bobby Boucher really wants to help people. He really genuinely believes in what he does and wants to help the teams and stuff. So I always really loved Bobby's personality and his passion. Oh, thank you. Rick says, have you seen my brain? I can't find it. Thank you for your pledge. If I can find my own, I'll have mine go on a search party for yours. How's that? Jake Smith, my 2 wins for the week. Number 1, went back and finished 3 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games, Original Arcade, Turtles in Time Arcade, and Manhattan Project. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I got the Cowabunga collection. Yeah, I love Ninja Turtles, man. I love Ninja Turtles so much. Donnie, I'm a Donnie girl. Number 2, started watching soap operas again with my girlfriend. Oh boy. She enjoys that time we get together. First and foremost, snaps for you, Jake. Oh my God, can you believe Sheila Carter faking her own death in The Bold and the Beautiful just has my nerves on edge so hard. I'm a few episodes behind, so if anybody in here has been watching The Bold and the Beautiful, do not spoil this for me. But I'm really curious how Hope is going to find out about this. I just want to see the look on Hope's face when she finds out that her dad is banging the person that's been screwing her family over, all the families over for years. But I'm shamelessly addicted to The Bold and the Beautiful. So don't even get me started on soap operas, guys. But yes, turtle power. And I'm a Liam girl when it comes to The Bold and the Beautiful. That's my soap of choice. And I am a Liam Spencer girl. So maybe I will be his God knows what 5th wife. Maybe I can jump into the Steffi Hope, make it a square instead of a triangle. Metal Mark says, we need an Amanda dance today, right, chat? How about the twist? I don't know. I don't want to fall and break my foot, but I am here at your service. In case I didn't snap for Jake's turtles and soap operas, extra snaps for that. Oop, we got a long one. Caden90 says, coming on contact with you and your account and getting your lovely email back. I didn't expect that at all. And giving back most of the medication that I spared to take a huge overdose to the nurses here. I don't think I ever did that in my past until now. Didn't take a small overdose or something else. I do that sometimes, so I'll be away for a little time. I spoke with a nurse over some things, and they didn't know yet about what I do in my anorexia and the things that go through my head all day and night. Today, I went outside with a nurse that worked here just for one day. I'm agoraphobic, and normally I never go with someone I don't know and trust for a very long time. And hopefully, give a written paper to my doctor about what I do in my anorexia so she knows how bad it is. But I need to find some courage to give it to her, so I'm going to try the best I can. Oh, and by the way, you wanted some positive mental health songs to react to. Hammerfall with the song Last Man Standing is quite a good one. First and foremost, guys, can we please give Caden90 some encouragement? Because I really believe that sharing this with her doctor can make all of the difference, because then her doctor knows how she truly feels, what's going on, knows the extent of the situation. Caden, I really believe in you. I think that giving this to your doctor, being able to write that paper and get it all out, just get all of that out of yourself and be able to put it in the hands of someone that can help you, I think is really going to make a big difference. And you're right, it is a courageous thing to do, but you have that courage and you have this whole community behind you. So I believe in you. Snaps to you for being willing to write that paper. Snaps to you for giving that medication back, for deciding to stay here, not even taking the small dose, because you fought back against your shadow and you won, and I'm proud of you. So I think we need to give some big snaps here. This is huge. That's a lot of wins, and I'm very proud of you. Congratulations, and make sure to continue taking your medications as prescribed. I understand the need to get away. Feel free to come here and be with us. Feel free to connect with some other groups or something like that. Feel free to find things that you can get lost in, but don't lose yourself in the process, because you are far, far, far too valuable, and we care so much if your light goes out. Oh, sorry, so strong and glad to see you here. Eugene says, studied martial arts as a kid, and bow staff is my favorite weapon. I really, really wanted to learn martial arts because of the Ninja Turtles. I wonder how many kids in the 90s ended up learning martial arts because of the Ninja Turtles. David says, if I had any brains left, Amanda just killed it with B&B Talk. Oh, don't even pretend that you did not like watching Steffi and Liam fight, because Liam wanted to cheat on Steffi for the umpteenth time with Hope. No, I'm sorry. Cheat on Hope for the umpteenth time with Steffi. Excuse me, I had that backwards. It's hard to keep those two gals in line because he just kind of waffles between the two, and he'll just marry one and knock her up and then jump to the other one. And then they were both pregnant at the same time, guys. Oh my God. This kind of thing happens in real life. I grew up in Missouri. I don't need to ask questions like that. I've seen Maury Povich. I know things like this happen in real life. Rick James, David, maybe they ate it. What are you guys eating that I'm not noticing here? Whether it's Amanda Dance or something else, I'm up for anything to make people laugh. Amma says, old traditions instead of technology is the answer to this modern day hyper normalization of everything. I agree. I think that we should be getting back to a lot of our roots. Robert Rod says, hello, Bonita, and everyone else, and can't complain. Last couple of weeks and so far this week have been awesome. Hope all of y'all have been having a wonderful time too. Loves y'all. Peace, heart, Is that sunglasses emoji, heart, peace, 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 snaps. I'm happy that you are having a good couple of weeks. I hope that that trend continues. Oh, Casca, I'm happy to hear that your doggies are doing okay. David says I was suffering Stockholm syndrome. No, you won't. No, you weren't. You know you loved it. You might have been high on blue sky, but that's about it. Luke Alone Productions says, I was on a real date. After my operation, I thought I looked terrible like a monster. Fact that somebody wanted to date me is a huge mental achievement for me. As for other things, recently my PTSD regarding my mother's death has returned. I keep looking diseases like cancer inside me. I keep telling myself that I am healthy, but on the other hand, I don't know until I don't make thousands tests for 1,000 diseases, and right now I don't know what to do. Well, I think that first and foremost, I'm very happy for you for your date. Secondly, I know what it's like to feel like a monster, and that's a hard thing to break. And it's something I still struggle with. I've honestly felt like that even this week. And I have this limiting belief in my head that monsters don't deserve to live happily ever after. And I'm a monster. My shadow is a monster. So I don't deserve to be happy. And that's something that I'm still working on breaking. So just reading that broke my heart, because you absolutely are worthy and you absolutely are beautiful. And I'm so happy that you're finding someone that's seeing that and hoping you see that. I was just listening to a song by Mike Shinoda called Over Again, and grief, PTSD from death, things like that are not linear. I don't think that my grief from my mother ever went away. I just learned to deal with it better. And sometimes you don't say goodbye once, you say goodbye over and over and over again. That's what the song says. Because you can just be standing there doing the dishes and all of a sudden get sideswiped with grief or with trauma, or you might have already felt like you went through the anger phase of grief or the shock phase of grief, and then it kicks you back into it. So grief is not linear, and you can go through those stages of grief not only out of order, but multiple times each. So it's absolutely not abnormal. There were times where I, in my healing process, would be doing really well with losing my parents, and then after 6 months, I just really freak out, and I couldn't accept my mom not being there. And honestly, with everything going on lately, it's been really hard to not have my mom. I really wish I had her energy and her wisdom and her comfort. And I understand how hard that is. And like I suggested earlier, please feel free to share the memories of your mom here so we can help keep her alive. But I mean, there are, of course, choices that you can make to promote your optimal mental and physical health, like the things that I outlined in the 5-day challenge and the happiness boost course. But there's also a lot of value in getting a professional opinion to see if they can find anything in you. But for the love of everything holy, please do not go to play Dr. Google. Please do not go search symptoms and stuff, because especially when we're in the distorted mind of depression symptoms or PTSD, then you can look at the side of an aspirin bottle and be convinced that you have stage 4 cancer of 3 different types and a brain tumor and blood poisoning, and I don't know. But I know that it's very easy to panic in those cases. So snaps to you for your first date, snaps to you for recognizing that this is coming back with your mom, so that you can be able to address it. And I think you can address it, even though it's really uncomfortable. And continuing to take care of yourself. Like I said, make as healthy choices as you can, but also being open to learning if there is something wrong. Just making sure that you have as clean of a bill of health as possible. And if you do find out that there's something that needs to be addressed, you will be able to have more options to do so. As a son, my dad died. Thus, a great fishing buddy is gone. I also live in Missouri. I grew up in Lebanon, Missouri. Lebanon, Lebmo, good old Lebmo. And I never fished, and that's not something I would engage in, but I can definitely understand just my mom and I had so many things that were just she's my shopping buddy. My dad was my wrestling buddy, as in watching professional wrestling. So shopping was just never as fun without my mom, and wrestling just never held the same charm without my dad, except this week, my best friend Tracy ended up sending me a picture that she'd been at some kind of swap meet or something, and she found an NWO plaque. And her and I first met and bonded over NWO back in the 90s. And that was so special for us. And I came into the computer because one of the things I do to cope with my shadow, or to appease my shadow, is watch Dead Meat, the kill counts on Dead Meat's channel, James A. Janice. And I watched the one for the original Chucky. It was a Chucky recount, actually. And there was a clip right in the beginning. It was all talking about how Chucky was everywhere in the 90s and he was so recognizable. And immediately, even though I didn't consciously remember this when I went into the video, immediately, oh yeah, I remember when he was on that one Monday Night Nitro, which was the wrestling show that I watched with my dad every Monday night. And it clipped to that, and it showed that clip, and it was just such a giddy moment, such a happy moment. So I understand losing that buddy like that, and feeling like that special thing that you shared is just never going to really be there anymore. And I still go back and watch wrestling videos sometimes for my dad. His birthday's coming up on the 17th, so I will definitely be going back and watching some old school WCW. Metal Marks, right? Time doesn't heal the wound, just lessens it. Can be ripped open again. Absolutely true. I know that more than anyone could possibly imagine. Emily Black says, I feel at place since I'm new. It's probably just the shadow, though. Welcome, Emily. I'm glad you're here. And yeah, shadows tend to kick up and say, oh, we don't belong here. Oh, those people don't understand us. Oh, we're the odd duck. We're all odd ducks here. We are a multicolor, multifaceted. We're not ducks. We're actually, I take that back. We are wolves. So we are odd wolves here. And welcome to the pack. Welcome to being an odd wolf duck. That's gonna be my new thing. Wolf duck. Wolf duck with us. Trust me, nobody here is normal. There is no normal. There is no normal anyway, but there are definitely no normies here on this channel. So welcome, and I hope that you feel comfortable as time goes on. It's totally new to feel ambivalence as we engage in or get into new territory, as we delve into new territory, engage in new activities. It's totally normal to feel a little hesitant, and it's normal for that shadow to kick up. David says, I know that monster feeling. Korn's Freak on a Leash was me. My friend hated it when I played that song, but I actually found some comfort from that song. Monster by Skillet is that for me, because I just feel like I can't let that part of myself out. And when I do let that part of myself out, it hurts people. And I desperately, desperately don't want to hurt people, especially the people I love. And one of my limiting beliefs is I will always hurt the people I love. And I just don't want to do that. So I have a tendency to try and push away because I'm scared of hurting people, or because I've just always wanted. I cannot watch one of my favorite movies, which is 10 Things I Hate About You, which is loosely based on Taming of the Shrew, which I really like. So Shakespeare play I really like. But there's a scene in there with Heath Ledger where he messed up and Bianca finds out about it and finds out that he had a bet going to get her to go on a date and everything. And he just goes on this elaborate thing to get her to forgive him, to ask for forgiveness. And I grew up totally thinking that was real. And I am super extra when it comes to friendships or relationships or really any type of ships at all. And I don't half love. I love with all my heart. And I feel like those are the kinds of things that I just kind of daydream about. And then when things like that don't happen, then it's, well, why don't I deserve that? Why don't I get things like that? Why don't I merit a fight? You know, why are people just so willing to dispose of me and throw me away and discard me? And it really hurts. And I know that that's a pretty extreme example, but there are certain shows and movies I just can't watch because it makes me so bitter and and jaded because I always just daydreamed of movie moments and soap operas and things like that, minus the sleeping with each other's sisters that they didn't know they had. Oh my gosh. Transparency and Merit says, how strong of a narcotic do you think ego is? I think this is coming from a former cocaine addict. I think that ego is probably one of the most toxic things that we can engage in. And don't get me wrong, there is a good side to ego, just like, cocaine used to be used medicinally, and there can be a good side to it. But I think that it's things like this. Let's take the whole 10 things I hate about you example. That is an ego desire. That is an ego saying. I am desiring this not from a place of love, but from a place of ego, and I recognize that. But because that exists, and because my ego tries to take control of the narrative like that, I miss out on really good, happy moments and beautiful words and beautiful gestures, because in my head I'm dreaming of these grandiose things. And the interesting thing about it is, it's not even that I haven't gotten grandiose things before. It's just that my perception can be very distorted if I'm in a bad state of mind. But I think that ego is incredibly toxic. I think it's very addicting, because in my head, I mean, I've come to a point of being pretty self-aware now, but in my head, it was always, this is reality. I actually have this list of limiting beliefs, and that's one of them, that if a man or woman doesn't do XYZ, then they don't love me. If they say things like this, then they don't love me. If they're not willing to make grandiose apologies, then they don't love me. So I have all of these things, and those come from ego, and they affect our lives. They're addicting because we've accepted them as absolute truths, but they have such negative impacts on our lives, much like drugs. So that's a really excellent question. Thanks for allowing me to dive into that. I feel like it was a bit philosophical, but I love things like that. I love to contemplate and to really look at things in different ways. I wouldn't have thought of the ego as a narcotic, but it really kind of is, because it's so addictive, and it's a false friend, because it will just like drugs, just like cocaine used to tell me that it was my best friend and that wanted what was best for me. Ego does the same thing, but it will bring you to your knees. David says, oh, okay, at September 17th, just crying out for help everywhere I go, but it's futile. Oh, okay, I see. I'm sorry. September 17th is my dad's birthday, so I misunderstood that. I very much apologize. September 17th is someone here in the chat. I just want to let you know that I see you, and I obviously don't know what you're going through, but we will hold space here for you. If you need to talk, we will listen. We will give insight if that's what you want, give ideas. If not, we will just listen. So it is not futile. We will do everything we can to make sure that you feel seen and that you feel accepted and that you feel comfortable here. So if you are feeling comfortable to share, please feel free to let us know what's going on, and if there's anything that we can do to help you feel that there's hope. So it says that you're crying out for help. If you know what kind of help you need, we will be happy to give it. If not, that's okay too. Annalise says, hello, Amanda. I'm hoping you can help me with something. My grandfather is a huge part of my life, but I recently found out he is a Nazi and is wanted for 1,222 counts of murder. Do I keep loving him or stop loving him? That's a very tricky situation. And I'm just going to say what's coming from my heart. Still love him, because number one, judge him. Don't even judge him. Love him for the man that you know, not for his past, because I certainly don't have that kind of skeletons in my closet, but we all have a past. Is he trying to be a better person now? Is he trying to live a better life now? Or did he, in the end, I don't know if, you said is a Nazi, so I don't know if he is still alive. But the thing about it is, and this is something that most people really struggle to understand, is that these people There's a book that I'm reading right now actually called Ordinary Men, and I highly recommend this book to you. People, even Nazis, are still humans. They are humans that got caught up in the wrong ideals. They were at the wrong place at the wrong time. They got consumed by something that in many cases they had no control over. They were stuck between Scylla and Charybdis. They're stuck between a rock and a hard spot that they really had in many cases no choice. And even if they did, it's kind of like Breaking Bad. It's like where Walter turns into Heisenberg. Any person can become that under the wrong circumstances or under specific circumstances. Any person can break bad. Any person has the capacity, unfortunately, of doing great good or great evil, just depending on the influence they have. And I think in cases like this, yes, he did something terrible. He was involved in one of the most atrocious things in human history. But I think that there is a reason that you loved him before you found this out. And number one, I want you to share that with us. If you feel comfortable, I'd really like to hear what it is that you loved so much about him before finding this out. I also think that it would really help to talk to him because I think it's going to give a lot of insight on where he's coming from. I mean, this could be an opportunity for you to learn something that none of us have the opportunity to learn. At least most of us don't have the opportunity to learn. And that's getting in the mind of someone who did something that everyone looks at the Holocaust and says, oh my God, I could never do that. That's atrocious. And that's easy to say because you're not in the situation. But this is an opportunity for you to learn part of history, the part that nobody wants to talk about, to hear from the perspective that's a voice that nobody gives a chance to be heard. So I think that you can learn, for better or for worse. He gets an opportunity to share. And I think that in many ways, you have the opportunity. I would be thrilled to talk to him, actually, just because I think you have the opportunity to connect to the humanity of a person that most others would hate. You have the opportunity to see this love in someone most other people would discard and most other people would hate. Most other people, if they knew, wouldn't even give him a chance. How beautiful that you're asking this because you want to love him and you want to give him a chance. Love him for him. Love him as your grandfather, not as a Nazi, not as what he was. That's my advice. Bye, David. I'll see you in a little while. Let's get back in here into the snaps. I have to finish those off. I hope I answered your questions adequately, guys. The Warrior Poet says, since my gaming PC has been in the shop getting an upgrade, this has kept me off social media a bit more. Hallelujah. Sort of like a vacation. So I've been drumming this past week, and that always puts my mind in a far more happy place, as if my memory is frozen in a happier time every time that I drum. I love those things like that just take you away to a different place and away from all of your worries. So snaps to you for getting off social media, taking that vacation. We should all be doing that because it helps so much. Snaps for you for taking up a hobby that you're very passionate about and connecting to that. I imagine that it is very therapeutic and helps a lot. So snaps to connecting to those things. September 17th says, thank you. Those who were concerned, sometimes it isn't easy to articulate exactly where the help is needed or what I need help with, which is why it feels futile to me, I guess, which is completely understandable. And you don't have to articulate anything. You don't have to be able to say, okay, this is what's wrong and this is what I need to do. It's part of the journey. And I know that can be very frustrating. I know that I've been feeling that my brain is just, I don't know what's going on and I don't know what to do. So it makes no sense. But I think futile would be if nobody's willing to help or if you're not willing to reach out for help. But if you're willing and you're finding people that are willing to connect with you, that's a starting point because it gives you opportunity to grow. It gives you opportunity to connect. It gives you opportunity to get ideas and to try different things. And I always say, If you try one thing and it doesn't work, try again, try something different, try it a different way, try asking someone who's done it. This guy right here. And I think that having an open mind for different experiences is really helpful during this time, because, I mean, let's say the warrior poet didn't try different things to see what would take him to that other place, what would help him go to his happy place. He probably would have never found drumming. He found that because he was trying different things, and for whatever reason picked up drumsticks, and that resonated with him. So finding things, which it could take 20, 30 tries, but finding things that you can connect with, and really getting to know yourself, even the uncomfortable parts of yourself. I think I'm going to make a video on that here in a little while too, just the importance of knowing yourself and some of the things I did to do that, because I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. So one of the trademarks of that is a very rocky sense of identity and not really knowing yourself very well. And I'd like to share some of the things that I did to combat that. And I think that maybe that would help. Oh my gosh. Okay. So many messages. Nick, thank you so much. As a Marine vet, I can tell you that sometimes you have to do bad stuff to follow orders, but you all are also responsible to not do unlawful orders. So it gets very tricky. Thank you for sharing that from a fellow soldier. We kind of forget that Nazis were soldiers under order. And when you're put in a situation where somebody metaphorically or literally has a gun to your head and says, hey, do this or we'll kill you and your entire family. I mean, for me, the choice would be obvious. I wouldn't want anyone coming after my family. So when you're just looking at these other people who are faces to you, and it's between them and you and your family, then yeah, you can be put in positions to make horrible choices. But I don't think that that defines you as a person, even when it is horrific things. I think that there is redemption. Annalise says, he told me he's a Nazi and told me what happened, but I'm guessing he had enough. He recently turned himself into the police in Germany and he's being processed for life in prison. That right there tells me what kind of a man he is. That he is willing to give up the rest of his life to do what's right. How many people can say that? How many people on this planet can say in any way that they would be willing to go to prison for the rest of their lives to pay for what they've done? He's trying to do the right thing, and he's trying to pay the price and pay for what he's done. He was honest with you, and yes, I think he still deserves your love. And I think that this will bring a lot of peace for a lot of people. So I hope that he finds the peace he deserves as well, because I know that the things that have happened must tear him apart inside too. And I hope he finds peace. I really do. Carrie Huffman, I patched things up with my daughter. If you remember our conversation on Insta, I very much do. We're back on this road together again. Thank you so much for your time and words. Snaps to you for patching things up. I'm very happy for your relationship with your daughter, and I hope that things just keep moving up and up. So snaps to you for that. Oh, David Gap says, my win is Rick. Amazing. Yes, snaps to David for being, well, David's gone. I'm sorry, David. I'm sorry I got to you so late. But snaps to David and snaps to Staff Sergeant Rick James for coming back to us and for healing. What a boss. We are winding down here. I feel like that went a little bit faster, but hey, that could just be my dissociation talking. Who knows? But we'll be jumping over on the Patreon stream here in 1 hour. So if you are, no, I have a lot of streams today. Wow, I didn't realize that, because I have this one, and then we have the Patreon one. And then if you are part of the 5-day challenge, if not, make sure you click in the description. That gives you so many deep dive insights, so many videos from me and questions. I pop into your inbox for 5 days straight, but I also have a live stream over there tonight where I'll be answering any questions about the free 5-day challenge, about the Happiness Boost course, course, about the things that you learn in there. So many opportunities to connect with me today, even though there will be a little bit less content on the channel while I navigate some of the things going on right now in my life, but I'll still be connecting with you guys in as many ways as possible. As I said, I probably won't be here next Friday. I'm going to at least commit to every other week here on the streams. If I can do every week, if I'm feeling the energy, I will pop in, but I'm only committing to every other week. So if you have any last questions or any last comments, stickers, anything like that you want to share, please feel free to get them in. Did all my snaps, right? Yes, all the snaps. Loving the new office, by the way. It does feel much better, even though the rest of me feels very, very heavy. Edward, I'm getting a call from Arizona. Is that you again? I mean, I must be magic if I'm calling you right now. Emily says, I feel you on this dissociation. Like I said earlier, one of the things that really helps me is just kind of narrating surroundings for a bit, or I will put my hands under really cold water, my feet under really hot water. Familiarity. That's what I've been doing. As a matter of fact, Patreons, we're probably going to be watching some kill count today. All right, I will let you guys pick what we watch, but we're watching at least one because I've got the shadows got to play, and I've got to ground, I've got to calm down. So we'll probably be watching at least one over on the Patreon call. But I think that the biggest thing with dissociation is familiarity and grounding techniques, and any way that you can just try to be mindful of the situation. But that's easier said than done, I know, because even right now I'm sitting here looking around a little bit, feeling those anxiety symptoms and that dissociation kicking in. But thank you guys so much for all of the love. I always feel better too coming in here, even though it's a little bit hard to breathe. Haven't had to use my little calming device, but probably gonna go do that right now. I did make a video about it. If you are needing a grounding technique, this thing is awesome. It smells so good. I got the lavender scented one, but it helps regulate your breathing. So it tests your breathing. So it connects to your breathing and then gets you to breathe in the pattern that you need to breathe in to calm down. So as a yoga instructor, I know that there's many different breathing techniques, and this will help you figure out what your ideal breathing rhythm is in the moment. So I think that is pretty awesome, and it is very helpful. Sven Eric Johansson says, hello, Amanda. Thank you for being you. But a question, if you don't mind. How are you? Best stream ever for people with emotional and things in their mind. Sorry if I misspelled. No worries. I'm feeling some uncomfortable symptoms today, but I am okay. Thank you so much for asking. Alrighty. So I guess we are going to exit stage left, but like I said, thank you guys. I love you so much, and I will see you on the other side. I'll see you soon. Mwah.